Every day, more and more road users are filming their journeys, which can often end in disaster. Pioneered by motorists in Russia and Eastern Europe, dashboard-mounted cameras are constantly recording our behavior on the roads. From the bizarre, to the ridiculous, the funny, to the downright dangerous. The thousands and thousands of dash cams around the world have captured just about every mishap you can think of. Now we're going to delve into this treasure trove of stupidity on the roads. Put things right by pointing the finger of blame. Replay the action to see what really happened. And of course, there's nothing like seeing other people's mistakes when it comes to helping us become better drivers. And please remember, on all the clips, yes, that's all the clips we show, no one, and that means no one, is seriously hurt. So drive safely. Not everyone is this lucky. Coming up on yet another exhilarating and frankly exhausting episode of Car Crash TV, more mind-boggling motorists behaving badly, whose actions would represent a stiff middle finger to the following rules set out in our commendable highway code. Article 144, you must not drive without reasonable consideration for other road users. Article 146, adapt your driving to the appropriate type and condition of road you are on. In particular, where there are junctions, be prepared for road users emerging. The one about the importance of vehicle maintenance. And from spinning around, my guide to being a professional figure skater, I really am multi-talented. Chapter 1, don't under any circumstances bring your vehicle onto the ice. Duh, it's dangerous. The most recent statistics say that there are 35 million vehicles licensed for use on the roads of Great Britain. 35 million? Yes, with so many vehicles snaking the roads, it's a wonder there are not more accidents out on the asphalt. In fact, it's probably solely down to me that we are able to keep the number of incidents down. But with this many cars cluttering up the carriageways, there's bound to be some on a collision course. Now you might be thinking, a collision on this delightful suburban road? Surely that's not possible. But, as I always say, never underestimate man's capacity for idiocy. And freeze! Lots of moronic behavior on display here, so the perfect opportunity for me to trial my new idea of car crash bingo. It's been snowing, he's speeding and overtaking, whilst approaching a crossroads. If you had all of those on your Car Crash TV bingo card, then you're in with a shot at the jackpot. Okay, run it again. And look, they've let off the fireworks. We have a bingo. Looks like someone had knocking down a road sign and plowing into a telegraph pole on their card too. Welcome to Tijuana. Now overshadowed by Trump's ostentatious wall. Words got out that one of the Border Patrol had a heavy night on the tequila and Gate 7 is currently unmanned. Chin up, chaps. Honestly, you're probably better off staying in Mexico these days anyway. Just have another burrito and forget about the whole thing. If you see a green light in the distance, you'd think it would be okay to continue on your journey. But you know what thought did? Actually, what did thought do? What a stupid saying that is. Should we really be encouraging children not to think? What with Brexit and nuclear war with North Korea on the horizon, surely we've got enough problems. Mirror, signal, maneuver. It's not exactly a complex idea to wrap your head around. And yet, I really should start underestimating people. Looking left and right is another pretty simple instruction, is it not? In fact, I'm fairly sure it's on page 1 of the Highway Code. And yet, Christ, there really isn't any hope for us, is there? If you're a professional racing car driver, you'll be aware of the idea of the racing line. This is the path you take in order to move through corners as quickly as possible to maximize your lap time. I only mention this to make you aware that it's an idea that really doesn't translate to normal roads. Perhaps I just shouldn't have brought it up at all. Yes, I really should be mindful of what I say. This is the B1396 just outside Doncaster, not Silverstone. You are not Nigel Mansell. Shut it, Neil. I don't care if it isn't a modern reference. Kids should know who one of our greatest modern mustachioed men is. I'm very outspoken about those people who think it's okay to speed on our roads. It's not okay, okay? Now, if you want to put your foot down, you need to find yourself a track populated by like-minded and very boring people who want to talk about brake horsepower, acceleration, and ceramic brake discs. No, me neither. And in America, said track takes the shape of an oval that they just drive round and round and round. God, it's dull. So we've spiced it up. I give you stock car collisions.
Evening, folks, and welcome to round 17 of this year's competition. First up, we're riding with Kentucky's finest, Jefferson Beavers. He's royalty in his hometown of Lexington on account of him having 12 whole teeth in his mouth. The average in this part of the country is 5. And those teeth must be beaming in his mouth as he has to be happy with this ride. But don't smile too soon, son. Dang, his run is over for 30 seconds, and our onboard camera has confirmed that collision caused him to lose 7 of his teeth. Your time might be impressive, Jefferson, but I'm afraid your smile is now bang average. Just in front of that SUV is veteran driver Cleveland Chokeberry. At 108, he's not as sprightly as he used to be, so this is a slow and steady run so far. Ike Black doesn't have time to hang around, though, and makes his move, unsettling the old-timer. Poor Cleveland. Into the central reservation for 17 seconds. That's no way to treat your elders. Riding now with the great Ricky Bibble, a 2-time stock car champion and very much the man to beat. In fact, such is his dominance, there have been rumblings of discontent amongst the other drivers. And here come the Beaumont brothers, forming a pincer movement to end Ricky's run for 18 seconds. Not against the rules, but very much against the proud sportsmanship of this great spectacle. We're cracking up in the commentary boxes. We've just been told the name of the new kid on the block, Eustace Dead Willie. Well, I hope his run isn't as funny as his name. Yes, sir, comically bad, as Dead Willie is into the bollard for a woeful 5 seconds. Riding now with Spencer Pangburn, who's just gotten word about the name of the new driver on the stock car scene. We have a direct link to Spencer's comms, and he's laughing so hard I fear there will be tears in his eyes. Pull yourself together, man, and keep your eyes on the... Damn, a dead rubber of a time, thanks to Dead Willie, just 15 seconds. Our final competitor today is local cowpoke, Floyd Poke. Yes, when Floyd is not racing stock car, he's poking cows, though I believe the politically correct term is branding. He's got a reputation for being pretty heavy-handed with that branding iron, and I'm getting word that a pair of Frisians have broken into the circuit, stolen him again, and are looking for revenge. And they've got it, as 21 seconds is not a winning run. No, sir, that honor falls to Kentucky's finest, no, not Colonel Sanders, Jefferson Beavers, who coincidentally will be using his winnings to dine exclusively on the Colonel's culinary offerings for the next 12 months. Jefferson, it was nice knowing you. Coming up later on Car Crash TV, we take to the dance floor for a spot of strictly car crashing, take to the stage to enjoy some magic in Abracadabra, and take a look over our shoulder in It's Behind You. But first, quiet suburban street, small dirty car, and a van entering the scene. It's a tantalizing scenario, and there are so many possibilities, but can you guess what happens next? It'll knock bits off you. Welcome back to Car Crash TV. So what did happen next? Well, that car has been a very naughty boy in class today, so he's been forced to stand in the corner and think about what he's done. Here comes the headmaster now to dish out his punishment. Oh, so you still have corporal punishment in this part of the world. How radical. What's more random than eating a bag of Roundtree's randoms, sitting on the moon in a bathing costume with nothing for company but a talking pack of crayons and Mick Jagger's diabetic cat? Nothing. These clips aren't that random. I just couldn't fit them anywhere else. Sue me. Say what you want about Uber. The fact that it tells your taxi exactly where to go is amazing. Unfortunately for this customer, he hasn't chosen the safest of pickup spots. Feel free to sue them, mate. Just be prepared for a bit of a wait.
I hate it when lorry drivers start trying to overtake each other. They need to learn their place, preferably stuck in the inside lane in my rear-view mirror. But just the correct side of the motorway would be a start. Now, this is something I simply do not advocate. No, I'm sorry. This is totally unacceptable. Far too dangerous. In fact, I'm surprised I'm even allowing it to be broadcast. Such a terrible example to set. You hear me, sir? You are a menace. You don't deserve to be on the road, filming on your phone whilst driving. God. To be fair, though, that is a nice bit of shrubbery you've spotted. This poorly travelled tracksuit fan from Kent is on his first German cycling holiday, but he cannot work out why so many cars are driving on the wrong side of the road. His nagging other half always said he could never identify when he was the problem, and I'm inclined to agree. I've watched through this clip several times now, and I have to tell you, it's exhausting. See what I mean? The leaders of the world might not believe in climate change and give minimal consideration to pollution, but surely they cared about me actually being able to see when I'm behind the wheel? No! Hey, watch out! If only there was somewhere he could have crossed safely. Ah! Oh, God, that was not good. The humiliation. If only I'd used a zebra crossing like a normal life-valuing citizen. Drivers always respect those, don't they? I'm an avid fan of car crash TV, me. I know how it works. Oh, God, I'm starting to feel a little dizzy. Hope I don't fall into the road again. Yes, OK, you can drive off now. I've had me little moment. Come on, get going. Then I can look for my right arm. There are many ways to unwind whilst on the road. Perhaps you could pop on the greatest hits of ABBA and rock out. Or maybe, if you're one of those hip millennials, you could download the latest podcast detailing some grisly crime from the 1980s. You could drive your car recklessly so as to lose control completely and spin around as a dancer does on the ballroom floor. So while I bask in the triumph of once again writing a clever and seamless link, why don't you enjoy some Strictly Car Crashing? And we start today with a quick step. And so far this is pretty rapid, my darling. But what's this? You've thrown a prop into the mix. Outstanding. That was an unexpected treat. It affected your balance a little, but excellent recovery, so you have 8. The tango is a dance that should be packed full of sharp, precise turns. Well, that was certainly sharp and definitely precise, but is that all you've got? I expect more stamina from my performance, so I can only give a 4.
The key to the waltz, darling, is being able to glide across the dance floor in all directions, so bravo to this performer who's moving backwards with ease. It takes a lot to impress me, darling, but this is rather good, and a nice little pirouette at the end to finish. That was fabulous. 9.
When you enter the dance floor, you need to do so with gusto. There's nothing more enticing than seeing a big entrance to get the motor running. Well, you've warmed me up nicely for this samba, but perhaps peaked too soon? 6.
Next up, we have a cha-cha-cha, and a lovely little chassé to kick things off, but you've overcooked that, I'm afraid, and gone out of bounds. And there's no good creeping back onto the floor. I saw what you did. Sorry, it's only a 1.
Finally, we have a jive. Well, it's pacey, I'll give you that. But there isn't much else going on, darling. Someone fetch me the defibrillator. We need to inject some life into this performance. Is that the best you can do, dear? Talk about a disappointing denouement. If you need me, I'll be in my dressing room. 5.
Well, I wouldn't expect any visitors anytime soon, you miserable so-and-so. Sorry. Join us again soon for more Strictly Car Crashing. Peter Andre once sang about a mysterious girl and made a hell of a lot of money off the proceedings, which in turn led to an even bigger mystery than the aforementioned girl. Who the hell was buying this record? I tried to put a stop to them, but the fact that that song reached number 2 in the UK charts in 1996 tells how successful I was in my quest. But I've never let that failure dampen my enthusiasm for a bit of sleuthing, which brings us neatly on to this week's Crash Scene Investigation. Okay, well, this is a very intriguing crash scene that we've stumbled across today. There are 3 very clear suspects spread out all across this big stretch of road, but which of these is responsible for causing that accident which sees this car facing the wrong way? Is it vehicle A, the car facing the wrong way making the crime self-inflicted? Is it vehicle B, the bus who's definitely involved but maybe completely innocent? Or vehicle C, off in the distance who could be a red herring or could be making a run for it? Let's unwrap this mysterious present. Okay, well, all 3 vehicles seem to be using the road well, but as it's been snowing, they might want to choose their next move wisely. Ah, look. Vehicle A has chosen badly, trying to overtake on a corner in the snow. Never a good idea, is it? And that means Vehicle C was a red herring. Vehicle B was completely innocent, and the crime was self-inflicted by Vehicle A. It's almost like someone writes this stuff down for me. But do they? A mystery for another time, perhaps, as that wraps up this week's Crash Scene Investigation. You know, sometimes I have to wonder if throwing up all these junctions on our road network was such a good idea. Yes, people need to be able to alter direction as they travel, but in doing so, they cause chaos. Will traffic arrive from the left or the right? It's almost impossible to predict. But if you could, why, that would be a pretty impressive trick. In fact, you could almost say it was magic. Subtle as a brick, aren't I? Cue the incredible car smashini. It's time for Abracadabra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for that lackluster introduction.
You're one to talk. Let me guess. Is a car going to arrive from the left or the right?
Ah, you are so wrong, my friend, dear viewers. Do you think the car we're on board is going to hit a van arriving from the right or the left?
Very clever. You aren't fooling me or our audience.
Abracadabra! It was the left! You're staggered by my magical powers, aren't you?
I'm staggered as to how you've made a career out of this.
An intriguing conundrum now. Will the white car in front be ploughing into a car that arrives from the left or the right?
Honestly, it's not hard to update your act. Maybe we could predict what colour the car will be rather than where it comes from. I think we've got a bit of cash left over in the graphics budget.
I will not have you tinkering with my act. Abracadabra, the left again! I bet I fooled you.
Look, I'm just trying to help. They're not happy upstairs.
Okay, how about this? The car we're on board is about to have a terrifying near miss, but will the vehicle he's set to narrowly avoid come from the left or the right?
Okay, it's different, but our audience are crash crazy. They just want to see smash-ups.
Oh, people are so hard to please. Abracadabra! It was the right! Okay, I'll try again. We're about to bear witness to a van smashing into the side of this bridge. But will he arrive in shot from the left or the right?
Look, I appreciate the effort, but I think it's the left-right thing they've got a problem with. At least consider my colour idea.
Alas, there will be no such change to my act, as I've spent the graphics budget trying to woo that Neil fella. Abracadabra! It was the right!
Ah, yes, Neil is rather androgynous, but I think you're barking up the wrong tree.
I see. My mistake. I'll wrap this up then and spare everyone's blushes. Join me again soon for more Abracadabra!
Unless you're simple, you'll hate pantomimes. A predictable storyline you've heard before, some washed-up actor dressing as the opposite sex, a snotty teenager telling you how to find your seat when you've actually known how letters and numbers work since they were in nappies. Childish humour, child actors, child audience members. Ah, the horror! However, Car Crash TV is an inclusive space, so we cater for everyone. This next collection of clips is for those easily pleased people who love a panto. Here's a clue that, let's face it, you'll probably need. For each new clip, you can shout, "It's behind you," at the screen. You can tell when it's a new clip, right? Oh, no, you can't. Anyway, the first of these mindlessly repetitive incidents is coming now. It's behind you! Oh yes, does that feel good? Did you spot that, Panto fans? We changed to a new clip there. And look at this happy pair. I bet what's about to go down will really satisfy them, being such a modern couple. And here's another one now. It's behind you. Ah, just a playful brush. Not quite scratching your itch? God, you Panto folks sure don't appreciate the subtle things in life, do you? To give you the chance to anticipate this one, as you do with each new Widow Twanky innuendo, know that this is a rear view dash cam. It's behind you. Much better, right? Someone go grab a 15-quid box of popcorn. This is getting good. See this? I've got 2 of them to give away. There's my other one. To whoever can shout, "It's behind you," the loudest. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's behind you! Oh, boys and girls, that was very disappointing. That poor Toyota. Let's have another go so I can get rid of these gold stars that no one seems to be interested in since they started making iPads. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's behind you! Hooray! Ooh. I love it when a washed-up lead gets frustrated and starts to ad-lib. Watch your derriere! Then the director steams in and gives him a whack on the aforementioned behind to keep him in check. That's theatre. But we don't care about the mental state of our ex-soap star, do we, folks? It's not our fault that they got caught trying to do this in some classy Manchester venue. As long as the set has been painted such a brilliant blue as that skyline, we can cast all that to the back of our minds. Hey, look, only 3 kilometers to go to get stuck into a boneless bucket. This guy is getting a little too excited at the prospect. You might have noticed I've dropped the whole "it's behind you" shtick, because frankly, it was wearing thin. Anyone for chicken?